check you are muted.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry about that. So basically, today we are going to cover what exactly Redline Revisions include, how to create Redline Revision plans, the Redline Revision letter, and the estimate. And there are some documents that needs to go to Federal Highway for approval, and also some documents that needs to go to the districts or the area construction engineer. We're going to cover all of those if time permits. Otherwise, we're going to cover some of it later also. Basically, what Redline Revision covers. So if we let me share my screen here. So the purpose of Redline Revision. These are SHA guidelines for Redline revisions and changes, and also some green line revisions. Most of the time, any minor changes which do not require significant plan changes, or minor changes in the sense, there are errors or omissions like elevation changes for the inlets or the outfall elevations, or those kind of minor changes. Those can be done in green line, but basically the red line revisions, the changes to provide revised contract plans, document changes that are necessary to complete the construction. Changes to quantities, overruns, errors, omissions that can be constructed without requiring changes to the contract plans will not require red revision. So basically, these three bullets, these are the major items that require red line revisions. Most of the time, it's the lead design agent division from SHA that will determine if it's a red line or green line revision. We don't have to make that determination. The project manager from SHA, he's going to make that determination and let you know if it's going to be red line revision or a green line revision. Red line revision, basically there are some processes that we follow. If the estimate changes because of the red line revision, if it's less than $50,000, when I say red line revisions, I'm talking about all cumulative changes. If there are multiple red line revisions, let's say 4 or 5 red line revisions, the cumulative change because of those multiple red line revisions, if they do not cross more than $50,000 or less than 5% of the contract amount, the documents red line revisions only needs to be approved by the area engineer. But if it crosses more than $50,000 or 5% of the total contract value, then it has to be approved by the deputy administrator from SHA. So if I can show you a document, we'll cover this document later, but I'm going to go through the plans first, how to make the changes. But let me show you this document, what exactly I'm talking about. So basically, this is the memorandum that we usually send. Oh, this is Redline Revision. So our plans, we are currently working on Redline Revision number 2 for this US 13 business plan project. So this one did not require any significant estimate changes. So we do not have to go through deputy and administrator approval for this project. But there is a sample document how to create redline plans. Let me see if I can show you the document. So these are the documents that SHA has. There is a checklist for redline revision. There are plans how we should be showing the redline revisions, which we will cover. Sometimes you have, because of the redline revision, you may, if you see too many changes on the plan sheet, what you can do is you can cross out completely and take the same sheet, insert it as a new sheet. So this is a sample of what redline revision includes. If there is a for the advertisement plans or addendum plans, we cannot make any changes to the plan. Any change that we make, it should be crossed out. We cannot delete anything from the plans what we what we gave to the contractor. So those are record drawings that cannot be changed. So in those cases, what we do is we cross out the old information and we add the new information as a red text. If you can see it on the plan, This is how we display for the Redline revisions. In order to get to this, how to create this, we'll go through that in a short, in a minute. On the title block for the SHA, there is a Redline revision. This is the old border file, but these are the samples that are given on SHA website, SHA project was folder. So I just copied it from there. So basically, whenever there is a Redline revision, you basically put the revision block. You only add the date, add the revision number, Redline number, and then the date. That's all you're going to show. But as far as the plan, you're going to show all of these with redline number displayed at every text that you change or every information that you change on the plan. So this is the same document. There is a checklist for Redline revision. So this checklist explains what kind of forms that you need to fill out. We don't have to go through all of this. Mostly this is done by SHA in-house project manager. But there are some form letters that are applicable for specific conditions. Like if the cost change is $50,000 or less, there is different form. And if the cost change is more than $50,000, there's a different form that you need to fill out. And those forms can be seen here. I copied all of these into the in the training folder, just in case if you guys need to go through those. Most of this information is self-explanatory. So this is the sample of the letter, how the Redline revisions are done. Every change that you make, you refer the page number, plan sheet on the plan sheet. So every Redline revision have 2 sheets at minimum. One is the title sheet. Every Redline revision, you have to submit the title sheet. Every Redline revision, you have to submit the index of sheet. In our case, because if in our case, our project that we submitted for Redline, so title sheet, you had to explain on the title sheet that there is a Redline revision number 1. So you had to fill, this one has to be filled out every Redline revision. And also for same thing for the addendums too. Index of sheets, because every sheet that you changed, you had to mark up with redline symbol. Even though there are no changes on this specific sheet, but there are changes going to be on the geometric sheet. There are changes on the title sheet, index of sheet. So every sheet that you change, you have to mark it up with a red line symbol. And also at the bottom, you just have to display a Redline revision. Basically, every Redline revision, as I said, has to have 2 sheets minimum, 2. There is another document. Let me see. Okay. There is a sample here, design process. This is from SHA OHD. We are not going to go through each one of them. You can read through it, and all those pictures that we just saw, it explains everything, in here. Okay. So the letter that I'm talking about for the district engineer or district area engineer or to FHWA, I think we just saw that one. Checklist design process. We looked at these documents. Okay, let's go through the plan development. So let me go back to one of the projects, maybe US 13 business or what time ago. I'll go back to the project folder. Just going to create a Redline revision from scratch. So the project is 10/07/39. Points, CAD, working. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to only show you a couple of sheets, but after that you'll get you will get to know how to do this. So we're going to create Redline sheet revisions for the title sheet, basically. PGN title. Open that sheet. So these are the advertised plan set or advertised or addendums plan sets. You know, basically exactly what you submitted for advertisement to the contractor. These are the contractor has all of these files. So I am going to right now. I do not want to make the changes into the original file. I'm going to save it into the folder that we are working on. Okay, I already saved the file. I'm going to delete whatever has been done before. Okay, this is the addendum number 3 package that the contractor has exactly same sheet. Okay, now if you want to make a red line changes, we cannot directly just bring the text and write red line number 3 in this text. What we should do is go to always any plans that you anticipate red line revisions to be done. You go here. ESHA revisions, red lines, create an archive. So basically, any plan that you're going to create a red line revision plans to, first create an archive file for that. So right now, I'm going to create red line revision number 1. So these are advertisement plans, right? So advertisement so basic, sorry, addendum plans. These plans were done at addendum number 3. So I'm going to take create an archive for addendum number 3. Basically, whatever has been submitted at addendum number 3, that's going to be our base file. So take addendum number 3 and then create an archive file. Error.
Shek, if I may say something here
Mm.
to explain why we're archiving. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, when the project goes to advertisement, it becomes part of the contract document because that is the part of the contract that State Highway signs with the contractor that will be constructing the project. So the original plans, cost estimate, the IFB, everything is part of the contract documents. So literally after that, any changes that are being made, whether it's an addendum or it's a red line or a green line, it's a contract modification. Whether it cost any money or not, but it's a contract modification. So the purpose of archiving the plans, basically the whole archiving thing will begin at a minimum, it will begin at the advertisement milestone. So as soon as you have advertised the plans, you've submitted everything, if the project has been advertised, you should archive the plans and call it the archive, advertised archive. Then you go to an addendum 1, you do addendum 1, archive addendum 1, archive, then addendum 2, so forth. So every time you are making a change to the contract documents, whether it's an IB estimate or plans, you should archive them. Now, the archiving process that Shaik is explaining is how you archive the CAD files, but similar situations will arise with other documents that need to be archived. So the purpose here is the reason for archiving is so that you do not inadvertently change anything that was original part of the original contract documents. That cannot be changed. That has to be there so that it is part of the document. And then anything that you're overwriting or changing or revising, that would need to show and identify what has been changed. Any question on that?
Yeah, for some reason, it's not letting me do archive. Let me give it a try. Just give me a few minutes.
Yeah, can you open it in MicroStation instead of Power Inroads?
I did. MicroStation is not working. I mean, it's not archiving in MicroStation.
Okay.
giving me an
So
error.
while Shaik figures this out, so basically what archiving CAD files do is you have any print files. You're archiving only the print files, by the way. So when you're archiving the print files, what it does is print files have a bunch of references in it. So what it's doing is it's bringing merging all those references, all the elements that are on the reference files, merging them into the master file, the print file. And the second thing it is doing is it's going to change the line weight, the color, and everything will be grayed out. So anything that's on the sheet that was advertised will be grayed out. So the purpose of that is when you addendum something or redline something, the addendum will come out as black, and the red lines will come out as in red. So it'll stand out and it'll be easier to read what has been changed. So the contractor has the original advertised plan. So those are they already have in black. But then when you issue each addendum and each red line, it will highlight what things have been changed in those plan sheets. That is the purpose. And what it does is also locks those levels. Once it has been all merged and changed the color and everything, those levels will be locked from editing. So you cannot add any more things in those levels anymore. You cannot draw anything on those levels. The red line itself will have its own levels, own feature styles and everything. So those will be in separate. You can scan. You can turn them off or on your drawing sheet, drawing model. Um, so this
It's not
thing,
working.
obviously, the archive tool basically does that, all of that, like 2 or 3 steps in one go. Like it basically automates that process. If the archive tool does not work, then you can always do that yourself. Basically follow the same process. You just have to do it in 2 or 3. So archive is just a productivity tool that does that quickly. And it should work. I mean, I don't see a reason why it shouldn't work.
Okay, it's working now.
Yeah.
Let me go back and do some other sheets. Okay, let's go back and do this one. So basically come back here. The new microstation might have a different tool here. It's another tool that says revisions. You can use that one too, but I guess it's okay. Okay, it's back.
My recommendation is not to archive the title sheet. Because this title sheet probably is not what the contractor has. It will have all the signatures for PRD, the SHA, the OHD, director's signature. So, I mean, typically when I do it, I don't even, bother about this. I'll just use a PDF actually and make the change because otherwise you have to bring in all the signatures into the Redline drawing that we change just for the
Yes,
title.
read it. So that is one way to do it. But if you want the signature, what I used to do in the past is just scan that part of the signature block and just bring it into the CAD file once the signatures have been placed.
So that's
So
what
then
I
you can
have
keep
done.
everything else is in CAD.
Yeah, basically that's what I have done for my
You have to turn off everything anyway from this drawing now because you have to bring in the PDF of the title sheet here.
Yeah, I don't know why it's creating so many issues. Now
The
it's
the
everything turned
only
off. No, no.
concern I would have with the PDFing is if the scale factor, sometimes when you drawing something in PDF, it does not preserve the scale factor of the drawing. Now, title sheet, the main scale factor is the key map, uh, but uh, but if that's not exactly accurate, that would be my only concern.
Yeah, you can scale it because you have already the border here. You can just scale it to that. Because
Yeah,
ultimately the title, whatever is in that what you're showing in red in the CAD, you may have to turn it off because you got to still bring whatever title sheet is given to the contractor. I'm talking about just because it has signature, and you have to use that.
yeah, yes,
What
yes. No, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to it. So basically, let me do this one. So this one, it's giving, yeah, it's creating issues. When I save the project at somewhere some other location, I saved it on or my OneDrive. So it changed the path of the border. So maybe I should go back and do it in the folder itself. I'll make the changes in the folder. Because it's picking the border file from the SSA CAD standards, which does not have all the information correct. So let's go back to the project folder itself. Okay. So this is the file that we're going to create archive. Let's say index of sheet, right? Go to the revisions. The same thing. Create an archive. So this was done at addendum number 3.
Oh, by the way, I just want to make another quick comment, Shaik, sorry to interrupt you. I just noticed there is some extraneous elements outside of this border.
Yeah.
Really, once your project has been advertised, all those stuff need to be cleaned out.
Yeah.
Because you no longer need all this junk in there, right?
Yeah.
Because in archive, it's going to archive all of that stuff also with it, which you don't want.
Yeah.
That's not part of your contract. Anything outside of the border is not part of your contract document.
Right.
So, because it was not printed, so.
Yeah. Okay. So when we say we're creating an archive for addendum number 3, so just hit addendum and then addendum number 3. Hit OK. It will create a folder for itself in the project folder. If I go back here into the project folder. So basically, it created a archive file. That archive file will be a read-only file. Still working on it.
Yeah, the file is not DGN anymore. Look, it's a DGA.
Yeah, if you look at the file extension here, it's going to be DGA, which is the read-only. So basically, you will take that DGA file and reference it to your new file and make the changes there. Okay, it's available now. So basic. So it created a DGA file, which you can see here, and it's a read-only file. You will not be able to make any changes. So you cannot move any text. You cannot do anything. Okay. And this one created a folder. If you look at in the project folder itself, under working, it created addendum AD03 is addendum number 03. If you look at the file extension, if you go to this project folder and look at the file, it will be a DGA file. Let me go back to the project folder. So that's the first step that you do. 1007, 39 points, add, working. So it created AD03 folder. In here, you will see that DGA file. Okay. So now, in this addendum folder, you come back. Sorry, you go back to your Redline folder. Any files that you're going to create Redline, you have phase 5 folder. Under working, there should be a phase 5 folder. Add work drawings. Add. This is the Redline folder. Basically, this is where you put all your Redline changes. So I'm doing, let's say, Redline number 4. I'm just calling it Redline number 4. Okay. So I'm going to create that folder. Go back to a drawings folder, CAD, working, drawings, and PGN. index. Copy this file back into that folder, Redline folder. Now I'm going to go back and open that file that I copied into my drawing folder. Okay, in this file, I'll reference back I'm going to delete all of this because I don't need this active file. I'm going to reference the DGA file that I could just created by archive file. So go back, add working addendum number 3 is the DGA all files. I'm going to reference this DGA into my file. So basically, it brought up the DGA file, and I have to make this as nested depth. So it automatically gives you the depth that you need to put in it. So you need to change the depth to that way everything shows up. And everything active, I'm going to delete it from here. So right now, basically the PGN I001 that I copied, that's basically empty file. Into that file, I copied the DGA. Basically here, the DGA file that you're referencing in is your base file. There is nothing else in this file. Now, all the revisions that you're going to do here, you can make them here. Let's say if I'm doing changing sheet number 3. So I go here, redline revision, redline symbol, just place redline symbol, double click on it, redline number 3, 4, we did 4, right? Let's say 4. 4, that's my redline number 4. And same thing that you come back here, you can basically copy this. And add the date, revision, redline text, make redline number 4 and your date. Put like 06/12/23 or 24. This is how you make your redline changes. Same thing, if you have a plan work, I have a sample that I'm going to show you for the changes to the redline plans. This is for US 13. So this is basically, this is how you do the plan changes. Anything that's not applicable, just cross it out. Just put the redline revision number 1. Cross out redline revision number 1 or 2, whatever it is. Same thing. All of these are not applicable anymore. Just put 111, cross it out, and put the date in here. Okay.
Actually, a quick question. You don't need a traverse anymore on this project?
No, they reestablished the traverse because the traverse were all disturbed.
Okay.
So they removed when they went to construction, they could not find any traverses because this project has been there since 2017, and there are multiple projects that came in, and these traverses were all disturbed.
Okay, I see.
They couldn't
Okay.
find, so they reestablished the traverse.
Yeah.
The contractor did it themselves, so that's why they
Okay.
deleted these.
Okay. Alright.
7. Okay, let me show you one more sample. Correspondence.
In general, is this creating this DGA file, is that going to be also useful just for if we have to send MDOT, not necessarily, but other clients, if we have to send them like at the end of a project, all of our files, would it make sense to do it this way? So it's all kind of, because from what I'm seeing, it gets rid of the references. It doesn't merge all the references into one, or if I
No,
open that.
basically it creates an image. I assume that it's an image file,
Oh,
basically.
okay.
So that image file, you can just reference the image file and make any changes into your Redline revision sheet. You will not be able to change anything that was advertised, or that was the contractor has all the documents. So any package that contractor has, you will not be able to make any changes unless if it's shown in a red text or red cross out, basically an image file. So if you want your consultant or sub-consultant or other clients to use your files, you do not want to send them the DGA because they will not be able to use it anyway. If they just want it for reference, yes, you can do that. But if they have to use this, you still have to send them the CAD files.
Okay. Yeah. Never mind then. I was just something because sometimes they have issues with the references, and then you have to walk them through it. But if it doesn't sound like that would solve that problem. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show you another sample plans for Redline. So this is another project. Same thing. So after the plans were advertised, they added these road labels onto the area map. So that's why all the text in the area map is shown in red. A symbol has been added. Okay. Same thing. Index of sheet. Any changes that they made, added redline sheet number changes, added sheet number changes, and redline number. So let's go through this sheet versus the plans. So let's say plan number, we already looked at the index of sheet. We already looked at the title sheet. Now let's go to sheet number 4. Sheet number 4. So if you look at the index of sheet, there is sheet number 4, there is a change. So they added redline number symbol, redline number 2 symbol, same thing. The text was crossed out, new text was placed. Basically, we cannot delete any information. Recently, well, for US 13 business, I was reviewing the plans this morning. Adam, I think we have some locations that we need to change. I think some of the information has been deleted from the advertisement package that we need to put it back. We cannot delete anything. I'll talk to you after the meeting, but this is how we usually do red lines. And another thing is there is also a way to, as I showed it in the picture, there is a way that you can delete the sheet. If you look at this, let me close this sheet. So this one, the sheet has been completely deleted. Okay. Look at this. This sheet has been completely deleted. You can delete a sheet completely if you assume that there are going to be a lot of changes and there is going to be a lot of confusion because of that. You can delete the sheet completely by crossing it out and placing a red line note here. And in the red line note, just place in a text stating that the sheet has been deleted. You can add the same sheet with a new one, but all you have to do is you don't have to show any text in red anymore. Okay, the text that we have ever showing on other sheets, whenever you replace, you don't need to show it in a red. All you say is replace this sheet, replace complete sheet. So basically, what the contractor is going to do is he's going to go back to his plan package set. He's going to remove that sheet and insert this sheet and use it while constructing this. Use this as sheet for his reference. You can do that. Does anybody have any questions? Also, there is a file naming convention that I forgot to mention. The file naming convention for Redline revisions are like this. So if you're changing the plan sheet, You keep the name all the way until there. After the project name or project contract number, you add this portion. You add RL01, RL02, whatever it is, RL01.dgn, RL02.dgn. This is the file naming convention that you have to follow. Okay, when you create a sheet for the red lines. So whatever red line it corresponds to, it has to be that number, RL dash RL RL01, RL02, RL03. Okay. Let's go back to the letter. Does anybody have any questions how to create these? This is a letter that I copied, but I find it.
So quick question, Shayak, when you create the PDF, where the lines will show red, right?
Yeah, any line work that you do, let's do one.
Yeah.
Revisions, right?
Just wanna make
Line
sure,
work.
Yeah.
It will automatically pick up the correct line style, line weight, level, and everything. So red line work. So line work, let's say you're crossing out, you're removing the sheet. Assume that you're removing the sheet. Just place that line. So if you look at that information for that line, so it is placed on G red line. So that's the correct level. The correct color is also correct, 253. And the template that we've been using is Anon revisions red line template. So if this is, I think this is new because I'm new. Yeah. I never used this one, but I think there is also a template that can be represented. So everything is automatically done. And also when you print it, you don't have to change any colors or color table. Just print it. Just print it with, true colors. It will automatically show up. Let's look at the preview. You see that? All the changes that you're making automatically comes up in red.
Okay, good. That's good. So, but we need to use the correct line using that tool. So the print drive will pick up the right colors.
Yes. Basically, once you open MicroStation, it automatically pulls up this tool. If it's not there, I think MDSHA main tool has another location where you can pull it out from. There are also here, Redline Revisions here, such a main tool. But if you don't have this one, it will automatically. I think it's in the print sheet. You go to the print sheet, it will automatically pull it from the print sheet menu. And then the letter. Let me see. Let me go back to the letter. P training. Okay, let's go back here. Redline letters. So this is district engineer's letter. This is just the sample that I was going to show you to do the text. We just looked at it. So every change on every sheet that you have to explain it. Okay. So basically on title sheet, what we did is we added redline revision number 1. Same thing with the index of sheet. But let's say sheet number 22 or sheet number 23, you're doing added note for coordination. So basically you have to explain each note. Just placing the red line symbol does not make the contractor clear of what you have done. You need to explain what exactly you did. So here on sheet number 42, revise the speed limit, revisions made at the request of district traffic. I do not think this. Pushkar, do you know if we really need to place this note stating why we did this revision?
I think it's more preferential, especially
I never
because this
did.
is a revised speed limit. That's why probably and that note was added. But so simple logic is who is reading this letter? The contractor, right? That's
Yeah.
the main audience. Do they need to know this information that it was done by district traffic or somebody else? So I think that's just the logic. So in case maybe the client insisted that we put that there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I mean, you just have to describe what actually is on the plan, not necessarily the reason behind it, right?
yeah. Basically,
That
you
is
don't need
correct.
to explain it.
Unless you feel that that information would be necessary to construct something or so that's pretty much the thumb rule.
I mean, I would reward that one, saying that, let's say 45 miles per hour has been revised to, let's say if it was 50 miles. That's basically, and the design designation, is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a different project though, but so this is this is the guideline that from SHA came from SHA. So this is just a sample. This is basically a template that SHA provided. Okay, it explains you. Also, when you do this letter, there are SHA guidelines how to provide salutation, new guidelines for sending transmittals. This is not the correct way. They have changed it multiple times, but the correct way I'll show it to you in a minute. So this forget about this portion right now. I'll show you the correct one that SHA uses. But the cost changes and all those stuff. Basically, this template explains you what you need to do for the cost changes. So also, when you develop this letter, you need to make sure that any environmental changes are going to environmental permit revisions are needed or not. Basically, this document has some bullet points where you can select if a permit is needed, permit change is needed or not. You can select all of those. And also cost changes, basically cost changes will be, you can, if you double click on this letter, you can change the contract numbers and all the stuff. I'll show you in the sample that I have right now. Let's say FHW, right? So there are two letters that you need to send. One to lead design division. Basically, in our case, our lead design division was Office of Structures. So we sent this letter to Office of Structures. So this is the new template for how you communication. How you should be writing the to and from. What do you call this? What is this? They have issued new guidelines for communication from SHA.
Office of
They
Structures.
no, I mean the way that they describe, before they used to say district engineer Maurice Agostino. No, Maurice Agostino, district engineer. Now they're putting the division first, Office of Structures, director Maurice Agostino. Then you put first put their designation and then put their name. If you look at the old letter, this is also like that. But
So whatever,
they
I
have
mean,
changed.
they do change this occasionally, but whatever
Yeah.
the latest version is, always check before you finalize the letter.
Yeah.
And then do it that way.
And also, I think there is a 2-week window when they can issue the redline revision because it has to go through the office lead office division, and then it has to go through federal highway. Basically, all you need to have it ready. Redline revision date. It is basically given by the project lead project manager from the SHA. You don't need to worry about the date. You just ask him what date you want on the plans, because he will because he's the one who's going to communicate with the federal highway. You're not the one who's going to communicate it with them. So you need to get the red line division date, and when you do the plans, you put those red line division dates on the plans. Sometimes we leave it blank we know that it's going to happen in month of June. So you put June dash dash instead of 7, you can just keep it empty, and the year 2024. So in that case, what they do is the project manager is going to handwrite or those dates for the Redline revision. If you don't know the Redline revision date, you can do that as well. In that case, you can leave some of these dates empty. So if you look at this, does it, if we go through this document, does this project have any cost sharing agreement? Sometimes, there are cost sharing agreements between SHA and other agencies. In that case, you just say yes, and then you provide the third party name. Okay, and SHA project manager will give you that in all that information. You don't have to input those information, but I'm just giving you what to fill it in. Does the Redline revision impact above agreement? If there is an agreement, if it impacts that agreement, then you just say, if put an explanation. Yeah, otherwise, you don't need to check any of these. Just say not applicable. In this case, if the project requires resubmittal to PRD and reapproval from PRD, then you will just say, you just check it. Yes, it requires permit revisions. If not, then just say no for all of these. FHW, does it require FHW approval? As I said, most of the project, if it's $50,000 or more in cost change, then only FHW approval is required. If not, then it's not. TIP approval, transportation improvement program. I think TIP approval. I am not sure what triggers the TIP approval, but there is a PDF document that you can go through. I copied it into the folder, on the training folder. You can go through that document and see which one would what triggers the TIP approval. Corps of Engineer permit, 404 permit. If it requires changes to 404 permit, you have to click on that one too. And wetlands waterway permit, same thing. For the cost, when you do the cost, make sure that this cost right here that you're doing, this is basically the contractor's bid price. So if you don't know the contractor's bid price, you can go to SHA bid tabs and get the lowest bid contractor or winning contractor's bid price here. Okay, and place that in here. And then Redline Revision 1, you just place the price, whatever cost change that happened because of the Redline Revision 1. So basically, this table can be automatically changed. So let's say it's 5,253,500, something like that. That's the contractor price. And if your Redline Revision change is like $55,000, it will automatically change it. And Redline Revision number 2 change is like $60,000. It will automatically change. Cumulatively, if it crosses more than $50,000 or 5% of the total cost, then yeah, you will have to go through Federal Highway. Not Federal Highway, but the deputy administrator signature. So the signature here will change in that case. In that case, instead of Maurice Agostino, it would be deputy administrator, whoever that is. You need to put their name. And every Redline revision, you will have plans. Sometimes you also have estimate changes to the Redline revision. So those estimate changes, we will do a spreadsheet. I'll show you a spreadsheet, cost change spreadsheet. So basically, when you do the estimate changes because of the cost, because of the changes to the plans, let's say rumble strips, there were no rumble strips before, it was 0. And then you added rumble strips, 6 rumble strips, new quantity is 6, and yet the cost of 106. It will automatically calculate the price, and this is the change in total cost. Let's say if there is some item, 100,000, something like that, and let's say payment markings. The previous cost was like $20 each, 20 each. Unit cost was probably $1. Total cost, it automatically should have calculated automatically, but this is the previous cost. And new change in quantity. You will only include the change in quantity. Okay, change in quantity can be 50, and the new quantity is going to be 50 plus 20, 70. And the same, you have to, for the unit cost, basically this unit cost has to be the bid price from the contractor. You cannot take your engineer's estimate cost. It has to be bid price, because the contractor is going to go by his price. He's not going to go by engineer's estimate. So you had to put the unit cost of $1, whatever the contractor paid. And the revised total cost is going to be this much, and change in cost is going to be the total increase, which is 50 minus, no, sorry, 70. 70 minus total minus previous quantity. 20 times your unit cost. So the total cost change is, this is wrong. Cost change cost 6 minus 6. Yeah, total cost change is, total increase is $50 because your total change in quantity is 50. So if you add up all of these, 1322 is the total cost. So that cost, you should be putting it into the letter that we just looked at here, the change in cost because of the redline revision. To automatically calculate that and give you the percentage, and that way you can determine. In addition to that, okay. As OHD is following the new procedure. Right now, the letter that we're going to develop, they're not following the letter that we just showed you. So basically what they did is they created another revisions sheet, a redline revisions sheet. Okay. Instead of putting it into the letter itself, they are creating this letter separately with the cost. Okay. So basically, the Word document that I showed you, where is the sample district? So this redline revision changes is going to be separate sheet itself, which is called revision sheet. If you this revisions list sheet, so it will be done in here instead of putting it to the letter. They are separated. They have separated recently. Until I think last year they were doing it in the letter itself, but this year they have, as OHD specifically. I'm talking about OHD, and same is the case with Office of Structure. They follow the same procedure. They told us to use a separate letter to create the revisions plans, changes to the plans in a different sheet instead of putting it into the letter. Now I'm going to show you the letter that we submitted to SHA. Basically, 1007 39 drawings. Oh, submittal 39 submittal. Sorry, 7 2 submittals, milestones, Phase 5, contract 2, Redline Revisions, Redline Revisions 2. These are the documents that we submitted to SHA. So this is the letter to SHA. Basically, this is how it is. Our cost change was $4,002. We provided $4,002 in the letter. No change. No cost sharing agreement, and it's not applicable. Explanation is not applicable. No permit changes. Total cost change. Contract bid price was 9.2 million. We added $4,200. The cost change was 0.0%. So it does not require deputy administration approval. We placed Maurice Augustin's name here, and along with this Redline letter, we attached Redline revision plans, which is Redline revision plans. These are the Redline revision plans that we sent in. So this includes basically title sheet, second sheet, index of sheet, all the plan changes. Okay, the Redline revision list. This is the list of Redline revisions that we sent in. Although I think Adam and Chang, I think we should have elaborated more on this one. Revised mass stamp layout to show the new location of the relocated signs. We should have mentioned where exactly. There are four mass stamps. We should have mentioned which mass stamp. Northbound, or the north leg, south leg. We should have mentioned that to be more specific. But it's already gone. So let's wait until let's do that on the next Redline revision that we're going to do. Number 3. We have to be more specific where exactly we made the change. Okay. Any additional questions from anyone?
I have a couple of suggestions I just observed. First of all, I think we need to have good QA documents for how to create red lines. Some of those guidelines and stuff that you showed that are in the class folder, did you put them on our L drive, on our P drive, sample file plans, and create a subfolder called Redline, so that people who have access to only P drive, they will be able to access that. And
yeah, it's right now it's under training 2024, but I'm going to compile. I'm going to put only said because I have multiple documents showing red lines, so I'll just compile it into one folder and put it into P drive.
Yeah, in the P drive. So everybody, can you just browse through, go to P drive, Shaik, and then go under P drive and engineering resources. I think that's what the folder is called. Or sample drawings, something like that. Sample drawing, standard drawing. No, not standard drawings.
Engineering resources,
yeah.
Redline.
Yeah, you can put it there, right there. And everybody should have a shortcut to those folders since you're working on it. It's first time, second time, you need sample drawings to see how things are done. And these are some great examples that have been prepared by State Highway for other projects for that particular purpose that you can follow. Like not everything we can cover in one class, like how to do patterns and stuff like that. It's when you have to completely remove a sheet and do a complete new sheet, or you have to add a new sheet. How do you do that? All of those examples you will see here. Yeah, this was done by Sabra. I saw Jyoti's name there.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the recent letters, the sample letters. I copied all the letters in here. Okay. Any other questions for anyone?
Yeah,
You
not a
guys have
question,
any?
but a suggestion that let's use all these documents saved under the P drive. And anytime if there are any changes to these documents, let's upload and notify people that there are some changes to these, that way we use the latest ones.
Yeah, my take on that is whoever is going to work on it. So right now, Shaik is having a red line. Let's say, Reddit's going to do a red line next on 995, and you produce something that's unique or the letter is new. Take it. Your starting point would be from this folder, but if you made some new stuff in there, new guidelines were identified, then yeah, if the Reddit or the project engineer who's working on it, please come here and save that file so that the
Yeah.
next person who works on it knows how to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Yes. In case if you guys come across any questions, just let me know. Me, Pushkar, or Vedit, Habib.
That was good. Thank you, Shaq.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaq.